let's go to the chair of the Assembly Education Commission.
Do I get
Did you vote on that bill?
No, I'm in the Assembly, not the Senate.
That was at the Senate.
I'd like to be a senator, but right now I'm in
so
the
that was in the
Assembly,
Senate.
having a job to do. So I hope I get equal time.
It's gender-based.
Let me just say a few things, okay? First of all, we're not going to legislate our way to educational excellence. We're not going to test our way to educational excellence. There are some great charter schools, but if any of you read the report that came out of Stanford, one of the most comprehensive studies on charter schools, 17% do better, 37% do worse, the rest about the same. So there are some great charter schools, but that's not what's going to save public education. People talk a great deal about technology and about online learning. That's not going to save public education. There are some great tools. They may help make people more effective. But what makes the single biggest difference in student achievement, whether you're in a low-performing school or a high-performing school, is having a highly effective teacher in the classroom. And highly effective teachers are developed over time. If we're going to change education, if we're going to make teachers more effective, if we're going to help students learn, then we're going to have to make a real investment in our schools, because we're not going to do it if we continue to disinvest the way we've been doing for the last 4 decades. Now, where do I stand on education? I'm a big proponent of total quality management. I practiced it back when I was in the private sector. In public education today, we call them professional learning communities. It's really simple. If you know anything about Deming, in all of the studies that he did on quality, he said 15% of the problems are with the people, 85% of the problems are with the system. If you want to improve quality, fix the system. People want to do a good job. I don't care if you're the custodian or the teacher or the principal or the superintendent. People go into any job and they want to do a good job. So you need to have a system that can build capacity and help people perform at the highest level possible. So my recipe, and then I'll talk a little bit more about specifically teacher evaluation, and some of you have heard me say this. If I were going to do anything to improve public education today, the first thing I do is put significantly more money into administrator training. Not teacher training, but administrator training. I have never seen a great school without a great principal, and I've never seen a great district without a great superintendent. Leadership starts at the top. When Deming was asked to go into Japan after World War II, because their country was devastated, and Japan's not a country with oil and other kinds of natural resources, he said, well, you can make products. You can import natural resources. You can make products to a high level quality and sell them and make enough money to build an economy to support your people, feed them, clothe them, educate them. And when we went over there, he said, I'll only go if I start with the president of the company, because he knew that if the president didn't buy into the changes he was proposing, that it would never happen from the bottom up. So the first thing I would do is invest in administrators. The second thing I would do is put significantly more dollars in teacher training. You have to build capacity of the system. A good evaluation system not only identifies those teachers who are weak and need support and provides those support to them so they can become good teachers. A good evaluation system takes teachers who are good teachers and helps them become great teachers. It takes great teachers and helps them to become even greater teachers. And I don't think we're ever going to get there by just ranking and sorting. Business tried that years ago. We'll just rank and sort our employees, so 5 or 10% at the bottom, we'll get rid of them and we'll bring some new ones in. That doesn't change a system. A system improves when we actually build the capacity of the entire system. And the last thing I would do if I were going to improve education today is I would make a significant investment in high-quality preschool for all children. We know that students who come to kindergarten who have been in preschool come with twice the vocabulary of students who haven't and 3 times the vocabulary of English language learners. We know that students that aren't reading by 3rd grade, and more recent information basically tells you 2nd grade, are likely not to graduate from high school. So we've got to put more money in the front end if we're going to grow. Now, where do I differ from Students First? I don't think a value-added system of evaluation is ever going to help us increase capacity of the system. You know, how students do in 3rd grade depends a great deal on the quality education they had in kindergarten, in 1st grade, in 2nd grade. Over half your subjects, you don't have any way even to measure value added. If I give a test right now to a student in 7th grade and that student is 2 or 3 years behind grade level, that student's going to show is not performing, even though that teacher could have brought that student up more than a year in progress during that time period. So I don't think value added is going to get us where we want to be. And I think we have far too reliance on test scores right now.
Can I just ask you, are you going to be introducing
I'm working on a bill right now, and I'll tell you the elements in my bill. I just want to bring a couple more points out. I believe, my roots are in PTA. I've been involved in our schools, not only my 18 years on school board, but going back a decade before that in PTA, and I believe in parent involvement. I believe in site councils. We always surveyed our parents. But I don't think parents and students should be evaluating teachers. We may say we know the good teachers. My youngest are twins. They had the same teacher in 9th grade history. To this day, my son thinks he is the best teacher he ever had in K-12 education, and my daughter can't stand him. Would someone tell me, is this an outstanding teacher, or is this a teacher who should be finding another profession? We hire principals to go in and do evaluations. We need to be able to train them on how to do effective evaluations, but equally importantly, you know, it's not just a matter of identifying the weaknesses. The problem is what do you do when you find them? How are you going to go in and support and provide assistance to these teachers so that we can actually help them become good or great teachers? And too often it stops there. You know, if I'm playing golf and every ball I hit, I'm slicing off to the right, you know, I need the pro to tell me what is it? Am I lined up wrong? Is my backswing, is my follow through? We need to have highly skilled administrators who go in and not only do the evaluations, but have what I would call professional improvement plans to go in and work with these teachers and help them become great teachers. So the element of the bill I'm working on, it's a 2-year bill, is one, I do think we should evaluate more frequently. I believe we need to train our evaluators in how to evaluate. I believe the evaluation should be based on multiple measures. Test scores should be one of those measures, but not test scores in terms of value added. Test scores in terms of how are teachers using those test scores to drive instructional improvement. The reason we give a test is to see what students know and what students learn. That's the value of a test. The test we give through our standardized tests is like inspecting a car at the end of the assembly line. It doesn't tell you if you missed problems all the way along the line. And so if you've got a system based on professional learning communities, what you're doing is every 4 to 6 weeks you're giving assessments and you're determining what students know and what they don't know. You're providing time and support for those students who need assistance, and for those that are doing well, you're actually challenging them to achieve in even higher levels. But evaluations inform instruction, and that's what you want to look for with evaluations. The assessments need to be based, again, on multiple measures. When teachers who are not performing, they should be given professional improvement plans. At the end of a year, if we're not seeing improvement, they might need to find another job. If not, I think you move along from there. A lot of questions come up on whether or not we can negotiate an evaluation process. I believe we can. If you can't sit down with your teachers and have a fundamental conversation about what quality assessment looks like and how you're going to measure it, how on earth are you going to improve instruction? Management is about getting things done through people, and there's no industry or field where that's more true or truer than in education. We get the job done through the teachers in the classroom, and we all have to have should have a common vision on what quality instruction looks like. You know,
I think
past that in the.
Assemblywoman, I think we just got to
All right.
jump to.
No problem.
jump
I'll
to-
quit there and answer questions later.
I want to